I'd like to invite our Honorable Minister, Dr. Murugesh Rudrappa Nirani, Ministry of Large and Medium Industries, Government of Karnataka. I hope we all enjoyed the tea and coffee. I would please now request Ms. Susan Thomas, IRS Director, NIFT National Institute of Fashion Technology, Government of India, to please come on the stage. Dr. K. Visweswara Reddy, Faculty Member and Rector, National Institute of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Mr. Yash Arya, CEO and Founder, IAMKHADI. Dr. K.S. Gopal, CEO, Silk Mark of India Organization. Ms. Aishvarya Nandyappa, Founder and National President, Confederation of Women's Chambers of Commerce and Industry. I would kindly request Dr. Ajit Nigam and Dr. Visweswara Reddy to welcome Ms. Susan Thomas, IRS. I'd like to welcome Ms. Aishvarya Nandyappa and request Ms. Sonia Lamba to welcome her. I'd also like to request Mr. Nigam and Mr. Bose to please come on the stage. We'd like to start the event for today. I would like to invite Ms. Aishvarya Nandyappa, Founder and National President, Confederation of Women's Chambers and Commerce and Industry, for the introduction. Ma'am.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ Honorable Minister Shri Dr. Murugesh Nirani, Honorable Minister for Large and Medium Industries, Government of Karnataka, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. First of all, we welcome you for our Karnataka to invest here. Our special guest delegates from other countries, we welcome you. Karnataka is the industrial hub, technical hub. I'll speak in Kannada. Reason is, when in Karnataka, most of the people are talking in English. So this time I go with because yesterday press people also asked me, being your Kannadiga, why at least you could have speak in Kannada. That's why after that I'll translate it to you. Ellarigu once again namaskara. Global Spin Trade Conclave, Eco Handlooms and Eco Textile and Apparels. ಈ ಒಂದು ಶೃಂಗಸಭೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತಾ ಐ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟೈಲ್, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ MSME and IAMKHADI, then Silk Mark, other co-sponsors, co-partners. ಸೊ ನಾವೀಗಾಗಲೇ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ especially on the textile industry, handloom and handicraft and the apparels. Apparels comes under directly to the textile, but we are, Karnataka is a very, very hub of the khadi and silk. Nave kuda silk nalli, after China, we are the first one. But now what happened after the globalization nalli, matte Karnatakadalli kuda navu ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲೂಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಿಕ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ನೇಯ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಆನರಬಲ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಬಾಗಲಕೋಟ್, ಗುಲ್ಬರ್ಗಾ, ದೆನ್ ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಹಬ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ವೀವರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇನ್ ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ ರಾಮನಗರ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಹಬ್ actually. So many people are there. I am talking in the grassroots level. See, we used to think about always global trade and global marketing and all. We have to think about what is the root level. So because we have to encourage the root level people who is a manufacturer, who is doing trading, and it's a small people are there. You have to bring them into the cluster kind of things. Like we have Karnataka we have a cooperative sectors. When if we bring the cooperative movement, definitely we can achieve something. So we can't say that. That's what yesterday our press people asked me, why you are doing in the star hotels kind of culture. What it is not going to reach the Gram Panchayat level, because most of the viewers are in the Gram Panchayat level. So that is what it was planned, and we are planning for the technology also, because when technology comes in, we can't take them to the rural level, we have to be in the city. When it comes to the manufacture, definitely we can work as an ecosystem in the where the district level, that is Tier 2, Tier 3 cities we can go. So that is one thing. Second one, yesterday our Honorable Minister MSME, he said, we will support you for all the MSME sectors. If we want for the land and clearance of the from the government, definitely they will help us. And on behalf of government, I'm talking to you, because yesterday we had a conversation with our Honorable Minister, and today also we had a conversation with Honorable Minister. So they are ready to support for all the way. Whether if you want to invest in Karnataka, they will give you land. What is the government support? Definitely they will do it. So ನಾನು ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, kindly support your friends, surroundings. Reason is, most advertisement is mouth-to-mouth advertisement. If you go with the social media, that will not work sometimes. When we talk in our friends, yes, just you help them. yes, this is a program, this is what we have. We are helping for the manufacturer, service and traders from grammar to global. See, when we say that global, if grammar is there, we can say that global. Otherwise, it will not happen. So we have to concentrate on the Gram Panchayat level. Reason is weavers are more in Gram Panchayat. That we have a planning of next month inauguration of Khadi and Silk cluster kind of things program also. So in that case, we are bringing the rural people into the main streamline, so we can connect them global. I think IAMKHADI and MSME ministry and NIFT also can take next level to them. Definitely I'll connect with them, because only the gist I wanted to tell yesterday also, I didn't say anything about Karnataka. Karnataka is one of the best place to invest and set up the industry here. So what we can do is we can bring the investor from other country as well as the whoever is in other states. We can set up the industry here, because technically we are very, very strong in Karnataka, so that we can take up to the global level. This is only request. Another one, always when we come to any other state, if I go to any other state, we have to work with the local governments, local people also, very, very important. See, government of Karnataka, upon that now budget session is going on. Upon that also our honorable, both the minister came. Yesterday he sat 1.5 hours, interacted very, very good way with our foreign delegates also. So today also honorable minister came. He had a session actually at 10:30, question answers. Upon that also he came all the way. So we thankful to our honorable ministers from on behalf of GlobalSpin Trade Conclave. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Good morning, all of you. The objective of GlobalSpin Trade Conclave is to bring together the diverse viewpoints of experts, entrepreneurs, innovators, and business owners to enhance and position handloom as eco-friendly option of choice. And the another objective is to create an environment for sustainability of rural artisans, weavers, to not only have market access to Indian consumers, but also international markets, and help accelerating the economic development on sustainable basis. We aim through this conclave to bring all the micro entrepreneurs and international experts together to focus on promoting Indian handlooms as exotic, natural, wearable and sustainable fabric, and eco-textiles and apparel as recyclable and sustainable material. Through this global trade conclave, the organizers and the co-organizers wanted to start an engagement with the state government of Karnataka to start a unique project, UDAAN, which has been conceptualized by IAMKHADI, which is towards creating millions of entrepreneurs in the state of Karnataka. It will create jobs and generate more revenues for the state of Karnataka. The project stakeholders of UDAAN includes Ministry of MSME, NIFT Foundation for Design and Innovation, NSDC and DGFT, that aims to create an enabling environment for enhancing skill development for the flow of trade, commerce and technology, and promote to engage, enable and empower micro entrepreneurs and startups to gain a better understanding of the challenges to global trade and export competitiveness by doing e-learning, e-lending, which is providing microfinance, microloans through PMEGP scheme of central government to the entrepreneurs and startups, and further helping them to enable them by e-tailing, by helping these startups and entrepreneurs, first-time exporters also, to help their products onboarded to e-commerce platforms, not only within India but globally. So through this GlobalSpin Trade Conclave, the objective is more on enhancing the trade and exports, and to fulfill the vision of the Honorable Textile Minister, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, to touch the exports of $500 billion by 2025. By this, I will finish, And thank you so much. Thank you so much, all dignitaries on the dais. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite the beautiful Miss Susan Thomas, our Director, ma'am, National Institute of Fashion Technology, Government of India, for the keynote address.
Dignitaries on the dais, foreign delegates, distinguished audience, faculty and students from NIFT. A very good morning, and thank you for having me over to the organizers. Just to give a perspective, MC Varsha is our student, which sort of explains her description of her director rather than the speaker of the keynote address. I congratulate the organizers of GlobalSpin Trade on Conclave. It is a fabulous opportunity where many stakeholders of the textile ecosystem have come together. If you would recall and understand the textile ecosystem of India, we have a Ministry of Textiles, we have a Ministry of Commerce, we have a Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises, and all of us have some sort of a stake and a decision-making power in the textile ecosystem. Because Khadi falls within MSME, Commerce Ministry also has a lot of financial decisions which pertain to textile industry. And of course, Textile Ministry becomes the pivot around which we all operate, including National Institute of Fashion Technology, Bangalore campus, which I represent. During the deliberations and the discussions that we have had with the foreign delegates and as well as IAMKHADI, NFDI, which is under the aegis of NIFT, Karnataka state government, the investors, and the industry minister who was here with us in the morning, the sense that one gets is that, we are so fond of a silo-style working. It is time we shed that silo-style working and came together on the same table to synergize our strengths, our core strengths, and also to converse and, put ideas on the table, which then the industry, the academia can pick up and run along. There have been splendid conversations and beautiful presentations yesterday and are lined up today. And I'm so glad that my students have come. They are technology students. And it becomes important for the student body and, the academia, the faculty also, to come over to discussions like this, because the young stars among the students some of them are going to be in the industry, some of them are going to be entrepreneurs. And the ideas that we discuss and we put here as seeds are going to find fruition in their work in the years to come for the country. So I hope that is in place. The second idea that I want to give to the audience, taking from where Ms. Aishvarya has spoken, the global perspective and the local perspective. In the fashion industry and the textile ecosystem, there is a new hashtag and there is a new trend which is called as glocal, which is a combination of global as well as local. Glocal, in a world where boundaries have been diminished and, we have faced a pandemic because this is a globalized world. What comes across in China or variant which comes in Europe, it doesn't take many days and months to come over in India. And any trend that is picked up in the West or that is picked up here, it takes only minutes for influencers and the textile industry or the fashion ecosystem to pick up and run with it. So we are increasingly moving to a system where boundaries exist only on an atlas or on a map. As far as we are concerned, we are all global citizens. The ideas that are originating in one continent is as good for us as well. Into this global trend, how do we fit textile and fashion industry? And what are the strengths of our country that, we can capitalize on? And, there can be no doubt that as far as the labor factor is concerned, as far as the skill factor is concerned, a handloom, a khadi, the hand-spun, hand-woven khadi, are right up there in terms of its sustainability quotient and also in terms of luxury, the pure luxury that they represent. Brilliant silks for which Karnataka is famous for, for. You know, Karnataka, as she rightly said, Karnataka is one of the largest producers of silk. And, you know, we have had a historical advantage. Our Mysore silk, or, you know, the beautiful silks that Karnataka reels out, is right up there in terms of luxury. And we are, a lot of these foreign designers and buying houses look to India for their embroideries, look to India for their, for the beautiful handcraft that we have. How can we capitalize this and make a local product then go global? Just to give you a perspective, National Institute of Fashion Technology was started in the late 80s under the aegis of Ministry of Textiles. We are a 17 campus strong institution across the country today. And we work very, very closely with the craft clusters, with the textile you know, ecosystem in the country. And to give you a perspective, a lot of the dyeing crafts have been revived by NIFT in terms of handloom and handicraft. Coming to the Bangalore campus itself, Karnataka state government has partnered with NIFT in a great manner. We have been working on Karnataka Khadi for the past 5.5 years. We are also looking at globalizing and popularizing the brown cotton and the brown khadi of Karnataka, which is a natural color. So you don't even need to dye that cotton or that fabric, saving us quintals and quintals of water. So we are looking at products which are sustainable, which have a very good eco footprint, and that's how the confluence of industry, academia, as well as business investments come together. And for that, you know, my heart goes out to NFDI, IAMKHADI, and all the ministries across commerce, MSME, and textiles who have come together to put up this conference, which is of a stellar and huge scale. Again, speaking from the NIFT standpoint, NFDI, of which Mr. Nigam is, you know, the director and CEO, it is a Section 8 company, and it will be looking at incubating fashion and textile startups. And NIFT, we have had excellent rapport with international academia. We have students from Ethiopia, we have students from France and Swiss Textile College. Our students go over to New York and many other you know, globally reputed institutions. It's a great opportunity for international students to come over to India. And when we have students from STF and ONSAID, what we teach them is not only textile technology and trends, but also we ensure that we give them an immersive experiential experience of hand block printing, of tie-dye, the age-old crafts of India, the age-old handcraft of India, which is now on the luxury map of the world itself. So I would want, you know, this triangulation which is happening here in terms of business, in terms of academia, and in terms of government, the key stakeholders in terms of decision makers, the doers, the moneyed people. We need that kind of synergy to put India on the global map. And I wish this, you know, conclave the tremendously great success, because from Bangalore they're going to Bombay, and Bombay to finally culminate in Delhi. I hope you will spread, all of you will spread the word to your counterparts in Bombay and Delhi, so that, you know, this sort of conclave attracts larger audience, and we can keep the conversation going across platforms of government, business, and academia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to now invite Dr. K.S. Gopal, CEO, Silk Mark of India Organization, to address the crowd.
Good morning, dignitaries on the dais and the foreign delegates, and most importantly, the young blood from NIFT. First of all, let me congratulate IAMKHADI and MSME for having created such a wonderful platform wherein most of the stakeholders are on one platform. And since yesterday, I think a lot of ideas are being thrashed out, and the things are coming down, how the local to global, how to make it local to global. In fact, since I am from silk side, silk fraternity, naturally I will be speaking more on the silk. The moment we call silk, that is Indian silk, for the domestic consumers, sari comes to our mind. And the saris means nothing but it is for women, definitely. So you will be happy to know that most of the stakeholders in silk industry is from women, right from the manufacturing to the users. 70% of the women folk, I mean the stakeholders in the silk industry is from women. And the major problem in the silk is that it is very difficult to identify, just like gold. When you go to buy gold items, it is very difficult to identify gold. So Government of India came out with a mark that is hallmark. You all must be aware about hallmark. Likewise, when we go to buy any silk, the first and foremost thing in our mind is its purity, just like gold. So we conducted one study. If you go to buy 10 times any silk product, silk saris, chances are there 6 times you will be failing to buy pure silk. You will end up buying non-silk in the name of silk. So therefore, Ministry of Textiles thought that why not to do some consumer empowerment and let us come out a mark with the silk mark. And it is a matter of pride for all of us, all Indians, that it is first of its kind. The silk mark is the first of its kind to identify purity of silk. And in India, this is the first textile mark. And after that, handloom mark came into existence, then Khadi mark, after that India handloom brand. And now the ministry is shortly coming out with a mark that is Zoot mark. I think it must be in the launching process. So there is an importance of mark because ministry must be feeling to empower our consumers, which in turn is going to help the stakeholders. We must have one mark in place because for any food items like egg mark, then some products and items like electrical items, ISI mark, a lot of marks are there. So there is an importance of mark. So therefore, ministry came out with a mark. On this topic, I will be speaking little in detail the post lunch session. And on this occasion, when we talk about startups, then industry should come into this. So when silk word is there, we always feel it is with textiles. But nowadays, even in Bangalore, in Karnataka, when startup is there, they have come out of silk bandages, which are mainly used for the C-section scar recovery. C-section, nowadays, if you really go to the hospitals, most of the deliveries, we find it is C-section. So a lot of marks are there. So women are little worried about those marks. So now they have come out with a mark. The company name is Fibro Hill Wound Care. Fibro Hill Wound Care. That is a startup of Bangalore only. So they have come out with an e-bandage. And the best part is that not good raw materials are used for this. Those leftover raw material in the silk industry, in the sericulture industry, they collect it and they utilize those byproducts of silk industry to make it a product for the medical, healthcare sector. So there are a lot of scope for the silk beyond textiles. There is a sericin in the silk, so they are coming up with this cosmetics. Then your herbal tea are being used from the mulberry leaves. So there are a lot of scope is there in the silk. Maybe 30 years back, we were never dreaming about all these items, in India at least. But now the time has come, we must think of silk beyond textiles. So whereas a lot of startups can come and it can make a whole ecosystem or silk friendly system, and silk itself is eco-friendly. There are type of silks which by nature it is eco-friendly. You can't use any other chemicals and fertilizers in that. For example, I will quote it here, that is Muga silk. And India is the only country which produces Muga silk. And no fertilizer, no chemicals, because there is no need of processing of silk at all. You can't process it because it has got the natural golden color. You can't bleach it. Since you can't bleach it, you cannot make it white. You have to produce the fabric and the garments in the natural color. It is 100% eco-friendly. So there are many silks. I mean, silk must be at the top when we talk about the eco-friendly textiles. And when the cotton is the king, naturally silk is the queen of textiles. So only the message what I would like to give it here to this audience, to the gathering, that there is a scope of expansion of the silk industry beyond textiles. Let us think about beyond textiles. Why not to come the more, let us export our, when the Hon'ble can come up in Bangalore, we can produce this product in the mass. Because if you really make a survey, because I am not from the healthcare sector, but through our social information, through society, what we have experienced, a lot of C-sections are happening in deliveries nowadays, due to many medical reasons quoted. So therefore, why not to come up with other, like this, there are many items can be made it. We can come in the herbal tea, then your, in cosmetic sericin can be used, the silk sericins are used, and then your, in DRDO, I mean this defense, these silk fibers are used. So let us think about silk beyond textiles, and nothing much to tell on this occasion because it's the inaugural ceremony. In the second half, I will be discussing with you about all silk mark, how it has come into existence, and what are the advantages that we will be discussing. And I take this opportunity to really thank Mr. Yash and MSME and the whole, all delegates for organizing such a beautiful this function. And on behalf of Central Silk Board, we wish you all the best for success of this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I now invite Dr. K. Visweswara Reddy, Faculty Member and Rector, National Institute of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, for the vote of thanks.
Yeah, respected dignitaries on the dais, on behalf of the organizers and on behalf of the National Institute for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, I would like to thank all the dignitaries who have actually present today and made this particular event a very successful one. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank Ms. Aishvarya Nandyappa. There is a sloka in Sanskrit, Yatra Naryantu Pujyante Ramante Tatra Devata, mean where the women are respected, where the women are given importance, the God will stay there. That is what we have seen. And I could see there are two women who are sitting here, very successful women. One woman leading one of the reputed institute, that is National Institute of Fashion Technology. And her student, who is a comparer, was saying she is very smart. She is very smart, of course, because of the way she has talked about the initiatives of NIFT and about its history. I'll be definitely talking about what exactly she has quoted about. So, first of all, I thank Aishvarya Nandyappa madam. Thank you very much. Without which these 2 days events could have not been very successful. I should definitely say from bottom of my heart and bottom of my friend Mr. Arya, who is from IAMKHADI, these like we have been handholded by this woman, right, one-handedly, and she could make all kind of arrangements for the successfulness of this particular event. Of course, it's a team effort. Yes, I know that. So, because we are not from this particular state, so she is a local stakeholder, and she has helped us in making all the arrangements. We are very thankful to her, and she was also instrumental in bringing the two ministers, one minister from small scale industry, Nagaraj Garu, yesterday, and of course Mr. Nirani, Murugesh Rudrappa Nirani today. Thank you very much, madam, for your initiative. Then I would like to thank Yash Arya, a young guy from IAMKHADI, who is the CEO, who is very much passionate about the textile industry, very good knowledge in this particular sector, a graduate from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, has created a lot of influence in the Indian market, and his vision of making things to move globally. Thank you, Aishvarya, for being part of this particular session. And I should definitely say you have been great leader, I should say, like who have created the ecosystem wherein you have actually helped in making this particular event very, very successful. Thank you very much. I would like to also thank Madam Susan Thomas, IRS. Madam was talking about local. Yes, I for the first time I could hear this word, though I am also into international trade. I am a trainer in international trade documentation. A very beautiful word, local, she has used about global plus local, as our Prime Minister's vision is from global to local, local to global. That is what we are talking about. 5 trillion economy we are talking about. Atmanirbhar Bharat we are talking about. So our organizations, the national institutes, are working in the tune of this. Madam, I should also tell you, there is a scheme under Ministry of MSME, we call it as SFURTI, 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 Scheme for Regeneration of Traditional Industries, and National Institute for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is creating clusters, creating SPVs, special purpose vehicles, for handholding the traditional artisans, especially in textile industry sector. So be it Mysore silk, be it Pochampalli in Telangana, be it Banaras silk, be it whatever it may be, they are taking a lot of efforts, bringing all the artisans together, right? Creating a CFC, Common Facilitation Center. Modern machinery is being installed, and we are trying to see that their income levels will double or get multiplied. So that is what exactly we are doing. And you're right to mention about the embroidery, the craft clusters, to a very great extent. So I think, as you have rightly mentioned, we should not work in silos, we should work together as a team. IAMKHADI, National Institute for MSME, CWCCI, the Karnataka government, the Government of India, Ministry of MSME, because our common point of view is to help the needy, to see that we are working for the nation, and we need to see that we try to help all those artisans in the textile sector. Very beautiful artisans we have, so we need to help them, and we should come together. Of course, we'll be writing to you, Madam, our Director General will be writing to you, and will definitely work together. IAMKHADI is there, CFDI is there, Silk Mark CEO is there, CWCCI is there, World Trade Center is there to facilitate us in documentation procedures. All the people, I think we should not work in a competitive way, but we should complement each other's work so that we can move ahead in the right direction for the betterment of this particular state, the state of Karnataka, as well as for the entire country. And we should definitely realize the dreams of our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, who has got a very great amount of vision in this regard. I would like to also thank Dr. Nigam. Dr. Nigam, who is the CEO of NFDI, has been instrumental in making these 3 events realize into a reality, right? Conceptualize them, working with Mr. Yash Arya, right? They are working hand in glove together, and they are trying to make these events very, very successful, and he has been a partner of this particular initiative to a very great extent. Dr. Nigam, we are very, very thankful to you from bottom of my heart and from our institute. We thank you for all the support because he has been instrumental in all the panel discussions yesterday. I should say he was working tirelessly from last 2 days for making preparations for all the panel discussions, and very good amount, like in churning out of these discussions, a very good amount of cream it has come out, which will be useful for the betterment of the textile apparel and the handloom sector to a very great extent. Thank you, sir, for being with us. I should also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Murugesh Rudrappa Nirani. He was a former deputy CM of Karnataka, if I am not mistaken. Is presently the Honorable Minister for Large and Medium Industries. You know, the Karnataka's assembly session is going on, but still in spite of that, he wanted to visit us, he wanted to interact with us. So he has a great amount of interaction with all the stakeholders who are sitting here. So they are promising us, the Minister for Small Scale Industry, Nagaraju, and even Murugesh Rudrappa Nirani, Dr. Murugesh Rudrappa Nirani, both of them are promising us a great amount of help, be it NIFT, be it Ni-MSME, be it Silk Board, be it Silk Mark, right, be it IAMKHADI, NFDI, and so on. So yes, we need to work together. We need to have a common thread which should run parallel. We should run through all these institutions, which will definitely make these events very, very successful. I would like to thank our foreign delegates who are here, Mr. Sivan, Mr. Madam from Zimbabwe, and even Mangu from Mauritius. They have been giving their inputs, right, talking about their own case studies in their respective countries, and they have been very instrumental for creating a kind of a situation where we can have a win-win situation for these countries between India and Zimbabwe and India and Mauritius. Actually, incidentally, Mauritius government and Ministry of MSME are going to sign an MOU in coming days. We have already received that mail, and the SME division of Mauritius government is coming to India. The delegation is coming, and we are signing an MOU. And actually 6 months back I have conducted an international webinar wherein the Mauritius MSMEs, CEOs and chairmen, their team have participated, wherein we have talked about the MSME, how MSMEs of Mauritius and the Ministry of MSME can work together and have a great amount of collaboration between these two countries. So thank you very much for being part of these sessions. Thank you all the three members. I know you had tireless nights. You have traveled along, and you have been quite patient enough. And I could see my friend from Zimbabwe making a lot of notes. She is a teacher, and by nature she has been working very hard. Of course, the other two friends from Mauritius also, they are very interactive and cooperative, and we should take this to the next level. I should also thank the team of CWCCI. We are very much here. Babu Shankar and Madam Kavita, and one more guy, Shankar, I could not see him here, and they have been working tirelessly for making this particular event very, very successful. I would like to also thank my tall girl Sonia. She has been tall enough to take the things. I didn't see her, but I could see her mails regularly sending to all the dignitaries in different locations. She was so quick, and she was responding very well. I should thank my young friends who are sitting there, the future fashion designers, I should say, or of course, future fashion technologies as such. yes, bringing about new kind of technologies. We had showcased some of the technologies in fabric yesterday. There were certain presentations we were felt, wow, that is what we have seen. The young brains and minds and their faculty members who are sitting here, actually you could have come yesterday also, that could have been better, but better late than never, you have been here. We are very, very thankful to you. And I should thank the 3 volunteers who are here, who have been very, very instrumental in making these events. So, Madam, thank you for sending your delegation, I should say, very young delegates who have come here. One more girl, yesterday it was her birthday, she is not there today, she is here. She is not there, so she was, in spite of her birthday, she was here. She has, I think she is celebrating her birthday today, a little late. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are very, very happy for all these people who have actually made these events are very, very successful. I think I should also thank Dr. Bose Nair, who is instrumental, who was like a backbone behind me. I was coming, whenever I was in trouble, I was going to him. We were talking to WTC Bengaluru, though Bose Nair presently not in WTC Bengaluru, but he made it as a point to sit here for 2 days. Right, thank you very much, sir. Actually, you have made us comfortable, your staff, yet of course you are ex-employee of WTC Bengaluru, but your staff, because of you, have helped us to a very great extent. I thank WTC Bengaluru for this great event. Yeah, I came to know that Vice President Mr. Gokul Pujari from Gokuldas Image has come. We welcome you, sir. In spite of, I came to know that you are a big industrialist. In spite of your busy schedule, you have been here to participate in our event. Thank you very much. And we have Mr. Shrikant. Rajnikant. Oh, Rajnikant not only has fans in South but also in North, and is Mr. Rajnikant is very popular, and also we are popular because of his name, right, and fame. Thank you very much for being with us. I request so thank you one and all. I should also thank the media, especially the media's coverage has been very much there. They have been here yesterday, even today. I presume they are very much here. So we need your support to propagate the knowledge which is being churned out here in these sessions, to go to the artisans, the textile weavers, the handloom weavers, and so on. So it should definitely go on and on and on. And thank you for your support, the media support. And I should also thank our cameraman and all the organizers who have been very much here. Right, they have been very much instrumental. Even Mr. Sajid, I don't see him. Sajid in black dress. Where is Sajid? So I am thankful to him for his. And the cameraman was also very patient for his coverage. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much. Yes, why not? Why not? Definitely. Yeah, Shankar Gowda, please come. Madam Kavita, where is Kavita? She was very much here. Yes, made the event successful. Madam Kavita, where is Kavita? And Sonia also requires a lot of applause. Yeah, because we have given, I should apologize to them because we have given very short amount of time. In spite of very short amount of time being Holy, Saturday and Sunday, day and night they have actually worked and make this backdrop and all these arrangements. So we should be definitely thankful to them. Yeah, that's what. What is this girl's name? You announce.
While we do this, our two young friends from NIFT, they should be acknowledged on the stage. Ma'am, can you come? Yeah. And please be here. We really would like to thank you for the kind of work and the kind of support you've given.
Thank you, all the respected speakers, for this very informative introduction and addresses. We would now like to move on to the presentation. It's an expert session on eco-textiles by Dr. Rumbidiazi Masina, Professor, University of Zimbabwe Textile Department, Zimbabwe. Let's start with the presentation. Dr. Rumbidiazi Masina.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, and our future fashion designers and fashion technologists, my presentation is on eco-textiles. Zimbabwe is open for business is our president's mantra. The economy is recovering mainly in 2021, which was boosted by higher agricultural production, improved capacity, utilization in industry, and stabilization prices and exchange rate. The GDP is expected to rebound to 5.1% after a 2-year contraction. Zimbabwe is known for cotton production in the region and globally. So I'm giving a background to our country and to textile production processes in Zimbabwe. So the clothing sector in Zimbabwe comprises registered companies who are members of the Zimbabwe Clothing Council. Zimbabweans own the majority of the companies, and there has been an influx of indigenous clothing manufacturers over the past few years. However, only a small number, less than 10%, manufacture for export despite the growth, the regional market growth and inroads in past years into new markets, mainly in Europe. The Zimbabwe clothing worker is highly skilled, able to produce clothing to world standards requirements, and importantly, at competitive prices. So now, since I said Zimbabwe mainly produces cotton, and we export some of it to the neighboring countries and even globally, the government of Zimbabwe understands the quality of its cotton, and authorities clearly understand the competitiveness of the cotton lint on the domestic and world markets, which cannot be determined by prices alone. Back in the 90s, both Cotton Marketing Board and its successor, the Cotton Company of Zimbabwe, were market leaders in the supply of the following: production and selling of certified planting seed for farmers, hand-on technical services to reinforce and complement those of farmer training and extension services, processing the that is the ginning of cotton seed lint, cotton seed into lint, marketing and sales of lint to local spinners and the export markets, disposal of the cotton seed to the oil expressing and stock feeding manufacturing industries. Cotton of Zimbabwe was ISO certified in 2008, helping the company and the country to maintain the cotton to clothing value chain competitive. Zimbabwe attained the brand name Cotton Made in Africa, that is CMI, through private-public partnerships in Africa. The key aspect of the brand include improvement in cotton production techniques, healthcare and development, and sustainable development, among others. As a quality product, CMI commands a premium for international markets. So, most of the chemicals used in cotton textile production occur during the wet processing, that is during dyeing, washing, printing, even bleaching, and other textile finishes. So when we are talking about eco-textiles, as much as Zimbabwe is trying to improve the eco-friendliness of the textiles, right from the growth of cotton, the use of the inorganic chemicals up to the final product, there are still issues to do with chemicals throughout the process. So we are trying hard. Our cotton is good. It is competitive on the market. The products, the lint, the yarn is good, but we are saying in terms of eco-friendliness, there is still a lot that needs to be done. So if we look at the whole textile production process, it requires lots of chemicals, it requires tons of water that can be disposed of into and affect the land and the microorganisms in the ecosystem. So there is a lot that still needs to be done. Looking at eco-technology, I'm sure that's the way to go. So we still need to look into that and see ways of improving the eco-friendliness of the textile products. I have said that our garment makers, our workers are highly skilled. They know how to produce fabric. We are trying to save as much fabric as we can when designing and laying out even when designing, still at the pattern making stage, there's a lot of paper wastage. So we are looking into ways of improving in that. For example, the use of CAD, computer-aided designing in manufacturing, in designing, so that we do away with the use of paper when producing patents. And also, because a marker will be produced after designing, there will be a lot of saving in terms of fabric, hence less fabric will result, less remnants or leftover remaining pieces of fabric that may end up in landfills that can be reduced as well when we are talking of eco-friendliness of our textile products. So we also have an organization called EMA, which stands for Environment Management Agents. It is very much active in looking into a cleaner issues of clean environment. So in all the textile companies, they suppose they have a way that they have to dispose of their materials that can be collected and recycled to produce other products. So normally it is the brand owner who triggers the product development process. So this includes issues of research and design. Like I said, in designing, we have to come up with the kind of designs that are economical, and these designers are therefore best placed to bring about change in the production of textiles. So they know the kind of fabric that they want, the kind of product that they want. So they determine the kind of dyes to be used. If it's textile dyeing, they determine the kinds of paints to be used. If it's textile printing, they determine the whole manufacturing process. If the fabric needs to be bleached first before another color is applied. So it's the designer now who should help us to manage the environment, who should help us to come up with textiles that are eco-friendly, right? So they can influence the whole production of the textile process and the clothing through their choices of suppliers. Whom are they going to choose to supply the textiles for them? If they are going to import, because in Zimbabwe we do not only use cotton, we also use fabrics from that we import from other countries. So if the designer is going to import fabric, they should choose the supplier whom they know that their textiles have some eco-friendliness in them. Because most of these imported textile materials, they are the synthetic ones, the man-made ones, whereby a lot of chemicals are used throughout the process. So the designers can come in and help us in choosing the right suppliers so that we use textile materials that are eco-friendly. So the final product also, sometimes after using the textile product, we feel we no longer need it. The way we dispose it is also being managed by this board that I have mentioned earlier on, the EMA. We are not expected to just throw the clothes or the items that we no longer, the clothing items or any other textile items that we no longer need anyhow. They are collected and they are used for to come up with new textile products that can be sold at very cheap prices, and if they are to dump them, they have got a proper way of dumping them. Right. So Zimbabwe has an area for investment, and the investment can be in terms of technical skills and the establishment of joint ventures, manufacturing, and market operations. The textile industry has gone through a down period, and it requires investment in new technologies. Like I have mentioned that we need some new technologies so that we improve our processes, which will enable it to compete with imports into the southern region and from the Far East. So as much as our yarn is competitive, but they are still, technologically, we need some improvement so that instead of importing all these, we import all the synthetic fibers, synthetic products, synthetic textile materials. We import all of them. We do not produce any synthetic textile materials. So we would need some technologies so that we can produce some of these, and we can manage and monitor the whole process so that the fabrics or the textile products that we produce become eco-friendly. Because when they are produced elsewhere, we wouldn't know how they come to have those products. So there are opportunities for investment and a joint venture basis into textile design, which will enable industry to attract customers from a wider market base. So we are saying, like I said, that our president's mantra is Zimbabwe is open for business. So in the textile industry, there is also an opportunity to create joint ventures with other countries, such as India and Mauritius, where my friends are coming from, so that at least we can improve and we can even start manufacturing these textile products that are eco-friendly. So like there is a lot of underutilized capacity within the industry, and we can develop through external partnerships into more specialized manufacture and through an improved market strategy. Thank you.